I start cooking when my husband leaves work, giving myself 30 minutes on the clock. Tonight we're having spaghetti bake. Let's see if I can beat the clock. Bear with me, this is not your regular spaghetti. I'm gonna probably get some hate comments for the amount of carbs in this meal and the lack of vegetables. This is a luxury item and my husband is gonna be so happy that I'm making it. I usually only make this meal during planting, harvest season, or for a special event. And tonight is just a random Tuesday, so he's gonna be so excited. This is a wonderful recipe for leftover spaghetti if you have it. I don't have leftover spaghetti, but I do have about 1.5 pounds of hamburger and sausage mixture from our homemade pizzas last night, so we're gonna use that. In honor of Valentine's Day, we're gonna try to do this in the shape of a heart. We'll see if I can actually pull it off. I'm gonna move this over to my back burner so I can work on my sauce here. This is just water that's working on coming to a boil. My mom was the first one to make this spaghetti bake that I can remember. It's basically garlic bread wrapped around spaghetti. It's all in a nice little hand pie. It's kind of a version of a hand pie. This is like carb overload. I promise you, our toddler eats a ton of fruits and vegetables with her meal. And quite honestly, anybody that has a toddler knows that their diet is explicitly fruit between the ages of 15 months and like 5 years old. I don't want to burn this, but I do want to get it nice and warmed up. Disclaimer about the sauce. I do normally use Rao's, but I made lasagna a few weeks ago. If you've seen that video, you know that I used ragu for my sister-in-law's recipe. I bought an extra container of it for lasagna just to make sure it was saucy enough, and I want to go ahead and use this up. I'm just going to add this in. This is a 45-ounce container. It's going to be way more sauce than what we need, but I do like a saucy spaghetti. I did forget to mention, I have my oven heated to 375 degrees. To make spaghetti bake, you're going to take a pizza crust, one of these guys, one of these pre-made pizza crusts in a can. We're going to lay it out flat, put our mixed up spaghetti inside of it, put some garlic salt, some good seasoning on it, and then we're just going to weave it together. I'll try to make it look pretty. We're going to bake it for like 6 to 10 minutes. It's going to be perfect. This is boiling, so we're going to turn her down. If this turns out like I think it should, this would be a great Valentine's Day meal. I'm gonna rinse this out with a little bit of water. I should note, you totally could just use ground beef, or you totally could use Italian sausage, whatever you have on hand or whatever you prefer. It would be really easy to brown that meat up, make your spaghetti sauce if you didn't have leftover meat like I do. We're just making use of leftovers tonight to maximize our time. I'm just gonna let this simmer for a second. You can probably hear the water boiling in the background. We're gonna drop the angel hair in. This needs to cook 4 minutes to al dente. I'm actually gonna cook it closer to 3 minutes. It's not gonna take very long because it's gonna stay hot and continue to bake when I mix it with the sauce, and then also when it goes in the oven. 3 minutes on an entire box of angel hair, which is 16 ounces. Perfect. Heavily salted water. Heavily salted. It should taste like the ocean. I went out, I got the blend. Thank you everybody for the recommendations. It's so good. The meat that we had last night was seasoned with this. Tasted great. Can't complain. My noodles are done and I have them draining, but I want to use my large pot to mix this all together without making a complete mess. This is a lot of sauce, but I promise you, you're gonna want it to be saucier. The noodles will continue to absorb a lot of this liquid, and you don't want a dry spaghetti bake. Add in the spaghetti noodles. Just mix this together, and then we're just gonna let this sit while we get our crust prepped. We have a wall oven in our house. It's a smaller wall oven. It won't fit a half sheet tray. It will fit a quarter size sheet tray. Whenever I make things for the oven, please keep in mind, I'm using a small oven. And if you have a regular size oven, you can absolutely use a larger sheet tray and make things a lot bigger than what we can do here. Because I'm gonna try to make this heart shaped, I'm gonna use a pizza pan like so. This is still really hot. Underneath, just to try to not cook my crust. Spray. Don't come for me for the Pam, I don't care. Now for the scary part. Gosh. Whoop. Okay. Pizza crust. Pizza, pizza. Perfect. I don't want a super thick pizza, so I'm gonna cut this in half. We'll save the other half for spaghetti bake probably tomorrow night. We'll have leftovers, but I'm gonna make it fresh. You really can't make the pizza bake and have it as a leftover. You can have the spaghetti as a leftover, but something about this canned crust, when you put it in the refrigerator, it like gets raw again. It's the weirdest thing ever. So don't make the spaghetti bake for leftovers. Just the spaghetti, if that makes any sense. Cut this in half, roughly. I think I'm gonna regret trying to make this hard. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. You do wanna like thin this out a little bit. It needs to warm up a little bit. So I've actually had it out of the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Not so good. Just wanna get it to the right thickness. Season your crust with some garlic salt or some kind of garlicky seasoning that you like. Get a nice big spoonful, heaping spoonful. Try to shape this into a heart. I don't know. This is such a bad idea, I have a feeling. If it works, I'm gonna be impressed. If it doesn't work, well, it'll still taste good. What a mess. That should be more than enough for the 3 of us for spaghetti tonight. Okay, I gotta make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. I think if I start with the spaghetti formed like a heart, it'll be easier to do the rest of it. That, perfect. Normally, you take a loaf and then you just cut this into like 1.5 inch size strips and just weave it over itself, and it's perfect. But because I'm a little bit extra, I'm gonna take out the top part of the V. I still want it to be like woven. Oh, this is an experiment. I love experimental meals. This is funny. Okay, that kind of worked. It's kind of cute. Same thing over here. I'm gonna cut this into 3 strips. We'll go down with that one, and then across, and across, and then we're just gonna like crimp him up here. Kind of got the heart shape. This is totally not gonna hold in the oven. Just do 1 to 1.5 inch size little pieces. This could work. Feeling really confident. How many did I do? We're just gonna keep working our way down. Pull it as far as you can and as far as you can. Just need that top part to keep its little shape. This is cute. This is cute. There you go. Like that. And then there's way too much breading on the end here, so I'm gonna peel that off. Does it look like a heart or like an organ? That is confused. If I get more than 5 views, I will be happy. Here we go. Okay. For the seasoning on top, I think I'm just gonna season with some garlic salt. Sorry that you haven't been able to see my face the entire time. Somebody's gonna yell at me for that. A lot of garlic salt. Instructions say 6 to 10 minutes, so let's start with 8. When I make spaghetti bake, normally I put the spaghetti in and then I cover it in mozzarella cheese. Not doing that tonight because I forgot. Check out this heart though. Okay, it's kind of an ugly heart, but the idea is there. The concept of the heart is there. Oh, look at that. I mentioned that I usually only make these during like planting or harvest because they're easy hand pies for the guys to eat while they're on the go. My brother-in-law would go mad for some spaghetti bake. He'd actually probably be here if he knew that we were making spaghetti bake, so we're not gonna tell him. This cooked for about 10 minutes perfectly. Serving up with some cottage cheese and, as Derek calls it, the spaghetti confetti. I'm sure that he learned that from another creator, from a real creator on here. Spaghetti confetti, I can't say anything differently now. And yeah, we're using the cheap stuff. You could serve this with garlic dipping sauce to be really good, or just some additional marinara if you wanted it saucier. Super fun way to have spaghetti. Make it a heart for your kids this weekend for Valentine's Day. I love you guys. Thanks for sticking around.